All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming through. When I saw the rain this afternoon, everybody gets really excited about the rain. They're like, yes, it's raining. And I'm like, no, not on tonight. And then the forecast said that we were going to have like hail coming in sideways and all of that jazz. I am very chuffed, therefore, to see so many of you here this evening. This is absolutely fantastic. You've braved the weather. That means that you're serious about what we're doing here at Dewpoint. Those of you who are new, by the end of this evening, you will be serious about what we're doing here at Dewpoint. We are doing something quite unique. And this evening, you've come to a great evening to come to. It is the last one of its type this year, and it is one that we only do once every 3 months. So it's really a fortuitous evening for you. And we call it Thematic Thursday. Now, what we do tonight is we break down the business of Dewpoint. You're going to understand better what Dewpoint is in a minute, but what we do is we break it down and we ask ourselves the questions. Why do we do Dewpoint? How did we do Dewpoint? And all the other questions we can ask about it, so that when you walk away tonight, you comprehensively understand where we come from as Dewpoint. Now, what we do normally on nights like this is, as we build up to them, we talk to the people who are involved in Dewpoint with us, and we say, please bring your most difficult guests to these evenings, or tune in live with your most difficult guests. So if you are here this evening as a guest, you know you've been selected by your friend as the most difficult guest they know. And so you can thank them later for that. But what I'm hoping is that if you're analytical people, if you're details people, that this evening you get the answers to all of your questions. That is the object this evening. Now, we've got even more special this evening, is that we have got the founder of Clientele Life and the founder of the IFA with us here this evening as well. So the last time Dr. Benfield was with us here was more than 2 years ago now. So it is a real privilege to have him here. We always go, this could be the last time. We don't know, because he might not decide, he just doesn't want to come back next time. So, you know, whatever we do tonight, let's try and encourage him to come back again with whatever we do and how we behave this evening. Folks, this evening is also an XP Bonanza evening. We call it that. It's the only evening that we do like this, Thematic Thursday, where you're able to get a whole lot of bonus XP points. Now, for those of you who guess you won't understand that, by the end of the evening you will. But for wealth engineers around the country, this Bonanza XP, the table is on Facebook if you can't see it on the camera now, and it was WhatsApped out to all the major groups as well, is a table of XP you can get anywhere in the country tonight. It is not for people in the office only. It is for everyone. If you're able to accrue any of this bonus XP tonight, please just send it through to client services tomorrow and the next day, and we'll load it onto your accounts. XP is critically important if you want to be progressing through the rewards program here at Dewpoint. Again, guests you'll understand later, but for wealth engineers, do not undervalue this evening and the potential of this evening that you've got with it. So utilize the table this evening, do everything that's on it, and get as much XP as you can. You want to be ranking up in our rewards program. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off. Dewpoint is a division of Constantia Insurance Company Limited. We are a listed and licensed life and short-term insurance company. You can find us on the JSE under Conduit Capital. You can go to the FSCA's website and look up all of our licenses. We are, of course, an authorized and registered financial services provider. That's just one of our FSP licenses. The reason we tell you this is because we want you to know this evening that you are dealing with a real business in South Africa. This is not one of those things that's blown in from offshore. We see too many of them every single year, and as South Africans, we herd our way after them because they generally make promises we all wish were true. And so we go there to get the Ferraris and the Range Rovers and the holidays and the languages and the this and the that and all this nonsense I see on their websites, none of which is ever delivered. But the one thing they do deliver on every time is taking our money. They take our money and disappear, and I imagine many of you have had that experience already. This evening we want you to have a sense of confidence before we start anything this evening about what we do here, how we do this, and who we are at Dewpoint. We are a real business with real people. Those of you in the audience, you can see the building. It is one of our offices. It is a real bricks and mortar building. Those of you on the camera, you may be saying, oh, this is edited. Yes, it's edited live right now. Right now we're editing it live as it goes out. You can see me in the flesh here. I'll even shake the screen for you. You can see it is real. I always enjoy that. People say, this is just another one of those things. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. Well, then I say to those individuals, you're not allowed to use Google anymore, and you're not allowed to use Facebook anymore, because you've never been to their head office and you've never seen their people for real. And then they get all like, Yes, folks, this is very real. And I wish you I wish you would come and visit us at any point in time, Monday through Saturday, just about every week of the year. come into our business and realize that this is one of the only businesses in the country where you can meet the senior executive, you can meet the financial director, you can meet the financial team, and you can meet the creative director. We'll give him that title tonight. He deserves at least something. And you can meet Jane, who is basically in charge of everyone. How many companies can you walk into the office and meet that level of management in South Africa today, in any business, in any industry? You really just can't do that. And here we give you that opportunity because we are trying to get you to trust us. We're trying to get you to believe in us, because everything that's come in the past has taken away your sense of trust. It's taken away because of all the lies it's created. Here we deliver on what we promise, and this evening we're going to describe to you why and how that is. And so this evening, ladies and gentlemen, as I said to you, we have Dr. Benfield with us, the founder of Clientele Life and the IFA. For those of you who've ever been involved, he launched it in the 90s, and also somebody who's been in this industry for 4 decades now. 4 decades in this industry. If any of you think you know better, you don't tonight. He's also a professor at Wits, been there for 25 years and has his doctorate in this industry, and is a alumni of Harvard University. And he's come tonight to talk about it because it was with him that we sat down and designed Dewpoint about 4 years ago before we launched it. And we're going to be talking together this evening. So please welcome Dr. No, actually not yet. I wanted to show you, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Not yet. Sorry. One last thing. We spent some time on Tuesday together where we had a long extended discussion, because this is not something that I can do in an evening presentation where Dr. Benfield and I can talk through the whole process of designing Dewpoint. We'd need hours. And so we sat on Tuesday this week and we actually filmed that whole interview together, and it is now on YouTube this evening. Straight after this presentation, go to YouTube and you will find under training shorts, the category training shorts, a 22-minute long video of the interview I had with Dr. Benfield about everything about the history, foundational blocks, and whys and hows of Dewpoint. That is another piece of content, resource, that's the word, another resource we've now made available for our wealth engineers. It's on YouTube after this presentation this evening, but what we wanted to do was just give you a touch of that interview right now. So we've got a quick 2 minutes highlight of that, and then after this evening, jump on YouTube and watch the full version. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today I've got Dr. Brian Benfield with me. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of the history of Dewpoint, and more specifically, the reasons why we chose to commit the time and the capital into this business in creating the solution we wanted to a problem that we have in South Africa today, that every one of us has in South Africa today.
We were thinking about various different businesses that we might open. And I remember well all of the iterations we went through before we arrived at Dewpoint. We felt that we had to build a company that would be trusted.
We have to solve the key problem, which is one we still have today. In fact, it's probably exacerbated at the moment, and that is that the average South African is in a financial crisis.
While we were thinking about it, now with the benefit of hindsight, I think a lot of our decision making was decided for us by pure instinct, actually. And the word instinct comes to mind as a sort of acronym that one can use with the benefit of hindsight. No matter what your background, your training, your education, your financial position, your social status, your competencies, your abilities, no capital required, no stock required, no special training required, no selling required. You're starting your own business, no offices are required, no special licensing is required.
You've got no limit to your potential.
It's about as simple, I think, as it can be made. What they do need to have is security through a second stream of income that can be built up over time.
Where the average South African can create an insurance through a second income. It's more than just a second income. It's your safety net.
A company that's recognized as being a registered insurer, being properly licensed, being properly audited, having a proper set of buildings, having a proper set of employees, having bank references, always meeting our promises, delivering on our promises to our wealth engineers.
That's right.
This business is designed to use only the one thing that you are rich in. You're rich in time, in return for which one develops a long-term, stable, completely passive income in due course.
Alrighty, so that's a quick highlight of the full interview. I would encourage all of you, if you're serious about this business, go and watch the rest of it. It will be on YouTube later this evening. And so, ladies and gentlemen, now we can introduce and welcome up Dr. Benfield to the stage with me this evening. All right, Dr. Benfield. Was, as I said, instrumental in assisting us in forming DuePoint in the beginning, in creating what we have called now the DuePoint system.
Yes, that's perfectly right, Brendan. I mean, some people have said to me, how did you possibly come upon this idea, which is, you know, very technologically advanced and yet so very inclusive? Well, as I said in the videos, as people will see, that it almost was instinctual. And I then went back and looked at the word instinct, and it actually formed a lovely acronym for all the component parts, which you will see in the video, of how we arrived at DuePoint. The I of instinct, of course, being initially right up front the word inclusive. We had to make sure that whatever business we designed was inclusive, that everybody could participate no matter what their background, status, or training. And that is absolutely true. You really don't need to be anything other than a thinking, breathing human being to participate in this wonderful opportunity. And I think I make so bold tonight, Brennan, to say that I really don't believe that there is a better opportunity of its kind in this country today. In fact, I think globally it would be difficult to find anything that compares. It's so simple, so easy to understand, so easy to get involved in. And as you said a minute ago, or was it in the video, we've said that most of us are cash poor. That's why you see me up here still at the age of 70. But we do we are time rich, actually, although often people feel I don't have the time for this. Actually, if you think about how much time we waste in our lives, we are time rich, and the trick is to turn that time into long-term income, long-term cash. And that's really what DuePoint is about. Just giving a little time every week, using that spare time, and eventually it snowballs into being a really big income. Now, in this audience this evening, I see a couple of people I've known for 3 of the 4 decades that I've been in this business. I don't want to mention Rena's name, because that would age her. But she's one of several in this audience this evening that we've known for decades. And so they know that they've known us, and they know the background to this business. And still they're here, and that's a wonderful endorsement.
I mean, what we always say about DuePoint is that, for those of you who are new, we're a wealth creation business. We're not a business that sells goodies for cash. And those are the types of businesses that most South Africans have been involved in. Most South Africans have joined something. There's been a big conference where there were fireworks and dancing ladies and music, and they got all excited, and they had to buy 5,000 rands worth of goodies, and then they had to go and sell it to their friends every single month, selling the same things again to try and create cash that's only there for the month, and then it's gone again. That is not what DuePoint is. What we did here, what we decided to do when we looked at the problem that we had in South Africa, was we decided to build a wealth creation business. Now, a wealth creation business is a business that puts recurring income in your hands. Income that's there every month, whether you are selling or not, whether you're working or not, the income comes in every single month. So we designed the DuePoint system initially at the beginning, and that fundamental step 1 was to create that recurring extra income.
Well, that's what I mentioned a minute ago, Brennan. That's it. I mean, the whole idea is to start with developing an extra income. Now, if you have a job, and I hope that everyone here has a job. Remember, you were then part of that small percentage of South Africans who are so fortunate as to have jobs today. But if you have a job, the one thing you may think you have that you don't have is security. You know that tomorrow morning your boss can come, it's the first today, perhaps it'll be, we got through this month, but he comes to you on the first of the month and he says, I've been told by the owners that we're closing the business, or that we have to retrench you. If you work for Eskom, maybe you have to be retrenched. These things mean that you don't have security when you have a job. You think you have security. Now, isn't it wonderful if you can develop a second stream of income that's there forever, So long as your policies, your downline is in place, your channel is in place, your income is constantly coming to you. You even leave it in your will to your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. They can continue with the business if they wish, but it's a real legacy that you leave behind, all creating that extra income, and what security that gives you. So that when your boss does say to you, I don't like your face, I want you out of here, you can show him a rude sign. I don't know how to do it anymore, but
That's right,
it's because you don't care. You've got the second income.
Absolutely. So we talk about, at DuePoint, we talk about the fact that what we have here is a full-blown insurance company. So our products are financial services. Financial services run on automatic debit orders, and it means that every month the debit orders run. We give you one task in the creation of this extra and recurring income. That one task is just to connect South Africans to us. No selling, no any of that, just connect individuals to us. Our products then and our systems then after that automatically raise debit orders that then when are paid bring in this extra income on a recurring basis, because none of our products expire, they never break, they're never not available, they work perfectly every single time. Financial services products, those debit orders run and your income comes in every single month. And as Dr. Benfield says, that's a kind of freedom South Africans don't have. In the business of wealth creation, we're also in the business of creating freedom. Now, you'll hear lots of people at lots of presentations talking about financial freedom. I almost get a bit of the thrills when I hear financial freedom. Everybody can create you financial freedom. Well, if that was the truth, well, then every one of us would be financially free, wouldn't we? But we're not all financially free. And so at DuePoint, our task, our objective is to go well beyond the financial freedom. We want to encompass all freedoms, financial, time, and mental freedom. There's a lot of South Africans that are suffering terrible anxiety and stress at the moment because of not only their financial position, but all the circumstances in their lives. And so at DuePoint, we create lifestyle freedom through what we're doing when you've got wealth, not cash in transit, which you've had up until this time with us. The second aspect of our business was, of course, the ability to leverage others by creating the channels you were talking about through this process.
Who was it who said, the famous wealthy American, I think it was Rockefeller, who said, I'd rather have earn $1 from each of 100 people working with me than earn $100 myself. Much easier, of course, to have 100 people, and that's exactly what we mean by the power of duplication. You duplicate yourself through all of those that you know or that you meet. So you may start in the business with those people, introducing those people whom you know, your family and friends and neighbors and club members and church members. But as you go through life, these ladies and gentlemen who have been involved with us for many years will know you meet lots and lots of people, and everybody you meet then becomes somebody that you want to introduce to your business, to your organization, to your association, through and thereby creating that income through the power of duplicating yourself through others.
And we have people who hang themselves in South Africa on this fact of I don't have time. You mentioned it at the beginning. People hang themselves on that. They go, I'm too busy. Folks, welcome to the club. Everybody in South Africa is too busy. There's nothing special about you. All of us work 60, 80, 100 hours a week. All of us. Now, it doesn't matter how important you think you are. Even the mailman has to work 80 hours, 100 hours a week. None of us have time if you look at it like that. But what we do is we say, well, let's build a business in the South African context, understanding that as a reality. And so we put into our system as just a little core foundational piece, not the whole thing, just as a little piece, the ability for you to leverage others in the creation of wealth. That means that if you get 100 people with 15 minutes worth of time, you now got a whole lot of time to create wealth. And our system creates wealth 24 hours a day. Whatever job you have, you know. The moment you leave those doors, they stop paying you. In fact, some of you they stop paying you 2 hours before you leave the doors to their offices. But here at DuePoint, we have a system that allows you to build channels of people that will create wealth for you 24 hours a day. This is not employment, ladies and gentlemen. This is what freedom looks like. We then allow every South African to utilize the system at absolutely no cost at all here at DuePoint.
Indeed, Brendan. In the word instinct, the second letter is an N. And I thought, well, that letter stands for the word no, N-O. You'd think, well, why would you want to use the word no, a negative word like that, when introducing your business? Well, no, as we've said in the video, no capital required to start this business, and this is starting a business of your own. No capital, no stock required. Don't let my people hear me say this. No staff required. Okay? Everything is done for you. No trade unions to have to deal with, because you don't have staff. You don't have that kind. No legislation to deal. We have to deal with regulators. They're coming out of our ears. No regulators. We do everything for you. No capital and no deliveries. You don't have to rush off every month delivering powders and tablets. As Brendan said, you don't have to go and make the same sale again next month. It's all happens automatically once you've introduced people to our channel. It's simply a matter. And no selling. We specifically require you not to sell. You're not allowed to sell. The law doesn't allow you to sell our products, I'm afraid. Did in the old days, but no longer. You're not allowed to sell. All you can do is introduce people to us. So the word no features prominently in the word instinct, which was how we arrived at this business to a large extent.
And I like the word no, because if anybody's ever been involved in the connection of people to a direct selling company or network marketing, did you see everybody shake as I said network marketing? The word no really is a central feature to that, isn't it? You know that you've got to work through the no's to get to the few yeses. If anybody of you have done my training, you'll know that. There's very few yeses. It's the gold amongst the ore that you're digging for. So no is the perfect word. But as Dr. Benfield said, we are not in the business of taking money here at DuePoint. We're in the business of making money.
Brendan, I'd just like to add something there to the word no. That's not that all the good salesmen of the world will tell you that they got better and better at their skill to a certain point. And then they discovered they couldn't improve very much more beyond that point. It was like they say, almost all of us have a kind of a God-given handicap. Now, I don't have the time to play golf, but I understand from golfers that they play golf and they improve their handicap to a certain point, and then it becomes very difficult, if not impossible, to improve that handicap. And that's like a God-given handicap. Your handicap is 25, and it'll say 25, all right? Now, we all have a handicap when it comes to selling. Some of us are very good at selling. Others are absolutely appalling at selling. But even the really appalling people who have difficulty selling the idea of, dare I say it?
Ice to Eskimos, yeah.
Yes, ice to Eskimos. I was thinking of something else, actually. But to sell the ideas that they might have, even those people discover that the more they do it, the more their handicap improves. In other words, if they're going to speak to 100 people, they discover in the beginning that maybe only 30 people might be interested in what they have to say. I beg your pardon, only 5 may be interested. But with time, you may get 6 or 7 out of 100. And with a little bit more time and really trying hard, you might get as many as 10 people interested in your idea, whatever idea you're selling. And then you stick. You find you can't improve on 10 out of 100, 1 in 10, in other words. So every 10 people you see, 1 buys your idea, the other 9 reject you. Now, the only way you can establish what your handicap is to keep a record. And that's one thing that I'm afraid that many people don't do in this business, is keep a record of who you've spoken to, how many people you've spoken to. In the beginning, as I say, talk to 100 people, maybe 5. Maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe only 1 will be interested in your idea. But you know then that your handicap is started at 1 in 100. So if you want to get 2 people, you've got to talk to 200 people, introduce 200 people, so on. Eventually you get better and better. Quite quickly in the beginning, you'll find you improve very rapidly in the beginning until you get to your God-given handicap. And then, of course, you find that you know that if your handicap is 1 in 10, then every time somebody says no to you, you get more excited because you're getting closer to the guy who's going to say yes. And so every 10 people, you get 1 yes. Now, sometimes it means you've got to see 20 people before the last 2 say yes. So it doesn't work automatically that there's 1 in every 10. you may have to see 30 people before the last 3 all say yes. So the word no features well, even in the fact that we have to face those no's. As people who are selling an idea, introducing people to our business, we have to face a lot of people saying no. And that often kills the spirit of people. Just got to bear this in mind. If you keep a record of the no's you get, you will find the ratio of yeses to no's, and that settles down quite quickly.
And that becomes your motivation then.
And as soon as you know your ratio, as soon as you know your handicap, your closing ratio, then every no doesn't mean anything to you. You don't feel rejected. You don't feel offended personally. You don't feel broken. All you know is you're getting closer to the yes.
Yeah. We often say that this is just a business of mathematics. It's just a business of mathematics. You just keep bringing the numbers and it gets you there. So we allow you to utilize the system at no cost. By simply being a product owner at DuePoint, you're automatically a wealth engineer. There's no startup costs, no starter kits, no application form fees, no monthly fees. We do not take your money in the creation of wealth here at DuePoint. And we, as a result, or as part of the objective and purpose of DuePoint, put every South African, every single one, into the position where they're able to start creating an asset, a real asset, not the ones that talk about on the internet when they're trying to sell soap and powders and stuff, real assets here at DuePoint with our business.
Yes, I think we've covered this point, Brendan. The building an asset that's a long-term income, and that's a real asset, that's transferable and intergenerational, the second I in instinct. Intergenerational, it passes from you to the next generation. So what you're creating doesn't die with you. It goes on after you. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. You'll learn more about that if you don't already know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things we're probably the most proud of here at DuePoint. So instead of being in your position of being in a job, you're running on that hamster wheel, you fall off because you're dead, they're not going to put your children on the hamster wheel of your job anymore. You know that. The same way as if you are trying to sell something every month, the moment you pass away, your children don't get to step in and become the great salesperson you were. That's not at DuePoint. The channel you create, which is creating this income, will automatically be transferred over to your children and your grandchildren and their children after that, and they will earn the income you created during your lifetime and have the choice of growing that asset, that channel, even bigger during their lifetimes. This is a generational business. We're not here for 5 minutes. We are trying to become the economic solution to South Africa, and we can't do that in one generation. We need to do that generation after generation with us. And then we've built the system, as Dr. Benfield has mentioned already, in a way where you do no selling. You don't have to do any selling in this business. We've completely excluded you from that task. So I often find members of my pigmentation peer group are terribly worried about their ego. Terribly. It's this big mountain that they fall over whenever I come to them and say, listen, just connect people to me. All the people know, just go, no. What if they don't like me after they've connected people to me? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've built a business here that you can be absolutely proud of in every single aspect. You're not selling, no products like you said, no distribution issues, a system that has brought into place technology to replace all of those steps.
Yes, I don't think I can add much to that, Brendan. That's perfectly correct. And we have, in fact, touched on this already. But for us to say, as you were saying, white boys especially are shy about introducing their friends. I don't know about the rest of our community, but they kind of feel it's embarrassing to introduce people to my business. Well, I've never understood that, because they have absolutely everything to be proud of.
And we've worked so hard to make them proud.
That's right.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've introduced the latest technology into this business so that you're always running at the front of all the technological trends at DuePoint. We've created an office and a system and a quality of everything that we believe is at private bank level. So no matter who you are again, no matter what your status is or how big the stumbling block is in front of you, we have created something that you can take to anyone of any status in South Africa and be proud of what you're doing with us. We leave you, at the end of the day, with just one task, the one task of connecting South Africans to us. The mechanism of that looks a little bit like this. We give you 4 ways to connect people to DuePoint. Again, talking to the technology. 1, pick up our USB stick, it's 170 Rand. You can plug us into a TV and computer any day and have us doing the presentation. 2, like you guys, come here and be part of the studio audience Monday through Saturday and be in the live audience as we do the presentation for you. The third way of connecting people to us is through our YouTube channel. YouTube is where everything is at DuePoint. That means that we are instantly nationwide, instantly 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I don't know of another business right now, even insurance companies, that have the ability to engage with their customers like we do, and even beyond their customers, wealth engineers in our case, on a 24-hour-a-day basis, nationwide like we do.
And that's the one thing about being advanced technologically. We can stay in touch with everybody, and they can stay in touch with us 24 hours a day. And it can either be by looking at our website and getting all the information they want, or actually talking to real people. We have real people in the office who are available during business hours normally, can talk to you all the time. You can send your queries if you want to during, after hours, but they will always be answered by people you can get to know right here in the office all the time.
We talk about not being a cold-faced insurance company. I mean, the regulator for years has said, no, you need to get more engaged with your customers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're directly involved with all of our customers as a result of the technology.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think with anything in life, anything that's really a genuine passion of yours, if you want to do well in it, you have to engage with it. And so we put all these engagement points out there with DuePoint, and we say, look, there's only so much we can do. We can, take the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. If you guys are sitting here going, I want to change my circumstances, I want a different kind of future, you're going to have to get engaged. And at DuePoint, we give you multiple opportunities to be engaged with us, actually physically, no matter where you're located around the country, every day of the week, every month of the year.
Let me add there that it's not easy. Right up front, let's say that it's not easy. The one thing about this business, it's not easy, but nothing that's worthwhile is easy, really. There's no magic. I mean, there's a very few fellows we hear about in the world who got rich overnight by mistake or by accident. Most of them got rich by hard work, diligent work, and many gave up along the way. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as some easy money. It doesn't come easy. But the joy of DuePoint is that when you get involved and you give it your time, you develop an income that's there forever.
And I mean, I think most South Africans haven't had that switch flicked in their minds yet. A lot of people, I mean, we've had tens of thousands of people through this room alone here who have looked at this and gone, it's just another soap-selling company. When it's not, what we create is the ultimate solution for every South African. You right now have, as you spoke about your handicap, a limit to your potential. Whatever you're doing, whether you're in career or building your own business, you know it already. There's a ceiling somewhere that you're not going to break through. Your experience, your education, your demographic, whatever it is going to stop you breaking through that. At DuePoint, we take the lid off. Right here, we take the lid. The moment you sat down in one of these chairs, the moment you tuned in live from wherever you are around the country tonight, you took the lid off of your potential, and you have now got unlimited potential to create income with us here at DuePoint. A completely different future, not just financially, but a completely different freedom and lifestyle that we engage with you and empower you to do here at DuePoint.
Well, I think Pumi and Patrick and the audience, whom I've known for many years, and Rena and others, will tell you how their lives have changed. Not just because they've now got a second stream of income that's there constantly, but because of their exposure to all the things that we teach them. Management, financial services, financial well-being. We take them away on a holiday every year to exotic places, all of which opens their minds to all new prospects and new potentials. So as Brendan said, if you have a certain limited potential now with us, that potential will be increased one way or another. You may be sure of that.
Absolutely. And I think you've said it already, but at the end of the day, one of the things we want you to be very, very clear about is that this is not a Ponzi scheme, it's not a pyramid scheme, we're not taking your money. I've said in presentations before, if this is a Ponzi scheme, it's the worst one in the country. We don't take any of your money. But as Dr. Benfield has clearly said, it is not a get-rich-quick scheme too, and that's something we really need to keep in mind. As we have experience in this, The average South African's circumstances are desperate at the moment. And so when someone comes and says, I'm going to make you rich in 90 days, actually it doesn't matter if it's not real. We're so desperate, we all go there and we drop our money into it, you know, sailing in from offshore. You know, it's a problem. But anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Benfield.
I'm very proud to be associated with your business, Brendan. DuePoint, it's a great business. It's the best of its kind, without a doubt, anywhere in our country and perhaps in the world. And the people who have been involved with us, Donnie, I see here in the front, know this. And I don't think you're ever going to see a presentation of a business in this country that's simpler, easier, and more certain than DuePoint. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benfield. Alrighty, so let's quickly recap before I move on. What do we do at DuePoint? We create wealth for you in the form of recurring income. What have you got to do to create the income? You need to bring every South African you know to DuePoint. How do you do it? 4 ways. USB stick, studio, YouTube, and the 4th way I didn't mention, live broadcasts. Every one of our presentations is broadcast live around the country every day of the week, Monday through Saturday. You're at work, you're in a different province, you're down a mine shaft. It doesn't matter. If the person says, I'm not going to believe it until I see it, you go, no problem. Click the live stream button on your phone or on a computer, and there we are, live. You're in the room with us. Connecting individuals to us allows us to then, as the insurance company, come along and we do the work. We sell our financial services products into the channel you've created for us, creating that wealth for you. All right, that process now of wealth creation starts then with the facilitation of the purchase of our products. We have 4 products at the moment at DuePoint. Our first one is our Access Wealth Plan. It costs you 324 Rand a month. For that, you get 2 independent products. Your first one is your very own tax-free investment account, and your second one is 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. Every month we take 100 Rand of the 324 Rand and we put it into your investment account. And that means that before you've even connected your first person to us, you're already creating an asset with us here at DuePoint. Our next product is our Wealth Guard product. It costs 249 Rand a month, and for that you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. It has no age restrictions, no medical declarations or examinations, and no waiting periods. You pay 249 Rand a month, and you have 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. This is a product that allows every South African into the door here at DuePoint, because at the moment, you guys would know, in South Africa today, most South Africans do not have insurance. Why? Because people would say it's too expensive. No, it's because they're too risky. They're too old, too sick, too dangerous. They live in risky areas or have risky jobs, and that makes it too expensive. This product allows every South African in, no matter how old they are, no matter how risky they are, into our system to create wealth for themselves and wealth for you in the DuePoint system. Our third product is our Family Wealth Funeral Plan. It starts at 299 Rand a month, and for that you get 2 benefits again. The first one is funeral cover. You can pick between 20 or 30,000 Rands worth of cover, and whether you want 5 or 10 family members on the cover with you. The second benefit is 10,000 Rands worth of outstanding debt cover for the principal member. Who's the principal member? That's you. When you die, we come along as the insurance company and settle 10,000 Rands worth of your outstanding debt so that your family doesn't have to. Now, why do we believe that this is good? Because normally you would get a tent and 500 Rands worth of airtime and maybe a packet of groceries. That's not going to help your family. Settling 10,000 Rands worth of your debt so that they don't have to is how we start creating wealth across the board here at DuePoint. Our fourth product is our Wealth Points Buyers Club. It's 299 Rand a month, and for that you get access to all of our suppliers. We're a 66-year-old insurance company. That's how old we are. This is not a new business. And as a 66-year-old insurance company, people come to us and they want to give us good prices, packages, account managers, vouchers, all sorts of things. As a member of our Wealth Points Buyers Club, you get access to all of those suppliers and all of those benefits. Now, on our website and on our YouTube channel are review and training videos on every single one of our products. If you want the full details, it's there for you 24 hours a day, anywhere in the world. You click play and we'll show you a video of the entire product for you. So even in South Africa, if you struggle to read, no problem. We've solved that problem already. If you want to read, the full policy documents are on our website as well for you before you've even clicked the join button. We believe that we have the finest quality of everything at DuePoint, including the products that we have in their categories. Now, how would we normally get you to connect with us? Well, we would normally do some advertising. That advertising would cost us a fortune. We'd build it into the price of your product, and every month that you paid for your funeral cover, your banking fees, your car insurance, you'd be paying for next month's advertising. Here at DuePoint, we do no advertising at all. That's why you had never heard of us before this evening. No, we use you. You go out and connect individuals for us, and that means that all that money we were going to spend on advertising, we are now able to start creating wealth with it. We do that in two ways. The first way is through our returns program. This is the money talk now. If you don't remember anything out of this evening, remember these next two things. This is the money. Returns. We pay you R27.50 for every product payment in your channel every month that it's made, multiplied by a factor of where in your channel it's been made. Right, let's go back to selling the pots and pans again. You run to your friend, you sell them the pot and pan, they give you R400. But now next month you've got to go back to the same person and beg them to buy the same pot again. Have you ever tried to sell two of the same pots to your friend 2 months in a row, maybe even 3 months in a row? There is a point at which they go, you know what, I've got enough of that pot. I don't need it anymore, which means that your money stops. At DuePoint, you get R27.50 every month that someone pays for their product here. What are our products? Automatic debit order systems. Every month the debit order goes off. Every month you get R27.50 multiplied by 200%, R55. 50. Yes, but I can get R400 for the pot. Yes, once. Yeah, that R55 is going to very quickly catch the R400 and go beyond. Now, if any one of your friends takes two products, you get R110, R365, 4, R220. R220 2 months in a row, and you've got your R400 pot. But it keeps going after that, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. These folk go out, they talk to a few more people, and again, you're going to get R27.50 multiplied by 200%, giving you R55 every time they pay for their product every month into the future. Now, you're all busy. We know you're busy. You don't have a lot of time. Well, look at this example. You've only put a handful of people in. It's taken you 5 minutes, and you're earning R1,000 a month. No, but hang on a second, Brendan. On my WhatsApp group, there's all these images of these things where they say they'll make me R250,000 in 3 months. This one's a picture of a lady standing next to a black Range Rover that she got. This is a guy standing next to his Ferrari. There's a lady with a handbag that worth R35,000. Blah, 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 blah. All right, what I want you to do is go find these people for real. You might have noticed there's a distinct absence of Ferraris on the road. And yet everybody on WhatsApp is standing next to one that they've got from their business that blew in from China. Am I right? Yes. Well, you know, I'm earning R600,000 a week. Really? Why are you still living, you know, in Lone Hill? You should be in Houghton by now on R600,000 a week, you know. And then you talk to them, and we had a couple, it's lovely. We have them come in here every now and then. They see our system, they go, this is amazing. But beforehand, they're telling me about, you know, the R600,000 a week. They arrived, but I can't see their car. I think they've parked it down there somewhere. I'm earning R600,000 a week. I don't need this business. This is all rubbish. It's a courtesy for my friend that I'm here. They sit through the presentation. Afterwards, they're like, I'm in. I'm in. Where do I sign? I'm in. And I go, but why on earth would you want to be in if you're earning R600,000 a week from your weekly paid out thing? And they go, no, I've only ever got R30 from that. I'm not joking. I've had that happen to me at least 3 times this year alone. Okay? So what we know is that there's a lot of nonsense out there, but what we also know is here at DuePoint, a real listed, licensed, registered, audited, reviewed, regulated insurance company, that what we put on the screen is what you get. You put a little bit of effort in, and you're getting R1,000 a month. That's R12,000 a year extra you now get. It is there every month. It's paid monthly, not weekly, sorry. Never seen a real business that pays weekly, but nonetheless, we pay you monthly. That R1,000 comes in. You can budget on it and you can forecast on it. Now you start saying, okay, I'm going to get off the excuse of I don't have time. I'm going to put a little bit more of my free time into this and start creating a greater and greater channel. You continue to earn, but now at a diminishing basis down to the 8th point. From the 8th point on, though, like I said, unlimited potential to earn here at DuePoint. From the 8th point on, as long as you qualify to earn, you're always going to get 4% of R27.50 for every product on every point in your channel. This means your channel might expand out to 20, 25 points. You're going to earn on all of them. If it expands out to 50 and you hand it over to your children and they grow to 100, as long as they qualify to earn, they're going to earn on every single point in the channel. You have unlimited potential to change your future and buy proper freedom for yourself. How do you qualify to earn at Dewpoint? It's very complicated. It took Rob 2 minutes and 57 seconds to explain it. Go to our YouTube channel and go and spend 2 minutes and 57 seconds of your life watching that video. He's quite good. He is quite good. I don't like admitting it, but he's okay. 2 minutes 57, and you'll understand how we have created generational wealth. You'll understand it because you have unlimited potential here. But you're going to pay the price of time. Dr. Benfield said it. There is no getting away with it. If you want to build real wealth, not the fake WhatsApp and Facebook wealth, the real wealth, well, then you've got no choice. You're going to have to put time in. So what is that payment of time? Well, we've kind of worked it out. We've had enough years in this industry, and we've got enough data now to be able to tell you. You don't have a lot of time. We built it in the South African context, so we say, here's a nice, easy track to run on. If you run on this track, we can start estimating what we think you're going to earn here at Dewpoint, the wealth you're going to create. We call it 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 says, in your first month with us, you're super busy. All you can do is connect 3 people to your first point with us. Just 3. You have an entire month to find 3 people. If any of you have seen our movers and shakers report, I don't think there's ever been a month where there's been someone who did less than 20 in a month. Okay? So we think 3 is pretty easy. Okay. Then we say every month thereafter, plus 2, you have to put 2 people on your first point. It's 2 connections. Can you do 2 connections in an entire month? That's 1 person every 15 days. We know you don't have time. You might not even have energy, but I'm pretty sure you've got enough for 2 connections a month. If you can do that, and we apply all of our mathematics, including every aspect of this business in it, we can then say, do that consistently over time, and after 6 months, you can reasonably expect to be on about 2,500 Rand a month with us. 2,500 Rand a month, not once off, not when you sold the pot, every month going forward. That's 30,000 Rand a year. 30,000 Rand a year. Yes, I know you're not going to get the black Range Rover or the red Ferrari. We'll get there, okay? But in a year, in 6 months' time of barely any effort, 2 people a month, you're on 2,500 Rand a month. That's starting to change some people's lives. Can you do 6 more months? If you can do a year with us, a year, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Don't skip because December's coming up, yeah? December is plus 2. You don't skip because Easter's after that. Easter is plus 2. Every month is plus 2. After 12 months, this time next year, you're coming up on Christmas 2019, and you're earning 9,000 to 10,000 Rand a month with us. This is extra. You still got your job. You get that money too, but in the middle of every month, like clockwork, we tease about this because we heard stories about one where, no, the FD's in China, we're not paying this month. Flip. Don't worry. Even when Tim is in China, you'll still get paid. Okay? Every single month you'll get paid. 9,000 to 10,000 Rand a month. That's 120,000 Rand a year. That's a hell of a lot of pots if you're trying to sell pots. That's a lot every month. Here you get that 9,000 to 10,000 Rand every single month. If you have committed to the process. How many of you are going to commit to that process? Even now I can see half of you in the audience are on your phones. Ooh, that's a good WhatsApp. That's a good WhatsApp movie. I'll watch that video clip. Yeah, I see you all on your phones in here. How many of you are seriously going to commit to changing your circumstances? There's a story where they say, when does the dog stand up? The dog stands up when the nail in the bench hurts enough. Is the nail in your bum right now hurting enough? It is. All righty. Why are we all on our cell phones then when we're talking about creating wealth this evening? Why are we doing it? I can tell you that around about here, I'm going to get Rob one day to change it. I've had resistance though, but I want to change the 3 to a red 3 because it's around about there where we lose you. You've spoken to the first 20 people. Normally your mom, your dad, your cousin, your uncle, your brother, and your sister, and they all laughed at you. What you didn't know was that that's out of sheer principle. It's a principle that your parents and your brothers and sisters and cousins will laugh at you. You know what it's like? You did it before. You came home in your brand new car, and you said, look at my awesome new car. And they said, you should have got it in green. They didn't go, that's awesome. They said, it's a principle thing. You're going to talk to the first 20 people. They're going to do nothing. They're not going to pay. They're going to let you down. They're going to make promises they never fulfill. And 3 months in, you're earning 300-400 Rand a month with us, and you go, this business doesn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, this business does not work in 90 days. No, it works in time. In time. How many of you will put that time in? How many of you will go past the 3-month mark and put another 20 people in, and then another 20 people, and then another 20 people, not caring about what they do, because you're not caring here. That's not your duty. What you're caring about at DuePoint is connecting until the wealth starts coming in. After 2 years, it rises to 27 to 30,000 rand. Any of you ever did anything in your careers that took you from 0 to 30,000 rand a month in 2 years? No, and yet people tell me the problem with DuePoint is you earn too slowly. Really? Oh, this WhatsApp said I'd be rich in 90 days. Yes, well, I can tell you you'll be rich in 90 days too. It's still a lie. If we were all rich in 90 days, why are you all sitting here this evening? Aren't you on your yachts in the Mediterranean? How many people do you know that are in the yachts in the Mediterranean? No one. They're lies. Genuine income says 2 years. 2 years with us, and we reckon if you've committed to putting 2 people in every month, we can get you to 27 to 30,000 rand a month. 360,000 rand a year. Can you do 3 years with us? If you can do 3 years, that number is going to rise to about 45,000 rand a month. 45,000 in 3 years. 4 years with us, it'll be 60,000 rand a month. And if you can do 5 years with us, not 5 weeks, not 5 months, and not the first 50 people you talk to, 5 years of connecting 2 people every single month to us. If you can do that, then we think you can reasonably expect to be on about 80 to 100,000 rand a month. That puts you in the top 0.5% of earners in the country. And I believe it puts you well beyond the potential of any of you right now. How many of you are going to be earning 100,000 rand a month in the next 5 years? Only through DuePoint. Not through your careers. I think you know that. Hey? How many of you could do that? And again, people say to me, Brendan, 5 years. I can't. I need it now. I know you need it now. We all need it now. We need it. But can I tell you, if I could get you 10,000 rand a month, how different would your life already be right now? Yeah. So let's not focus on the 100,000 and go, this business doesn't work because I'm only on 10. Let's focus on the fact that we're on 10,000 rand and life has already begun to change. Can you put that effort in here at DuePoint? Well, we've got tens of thousands of people that have done it at DuePoint already. They're getting involved. We put them on the stage every month, a handful. Some doing well, some doing badly. We show you them all. We hide nothing here at DuePoint. And we record them so that you can see them. Go to our YouTube channel this evening. You need to go to YouTube and watch their testimonies. Some of them earning a couple hundred rand a month, some tens of thousands, some hundreds of thousands. You go there. Go and see how they've done this business. 100 plus thousand. It's there already. It's there already. Your decision is where on that spectrum you're going to be. And then your decision is, I'm not giving up after my family laugh at me and tell me it's a pyramid scheme. It cannot possibly be a pyramid scheme with the amount of licenses and regulators that we have looking after us, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of working through the numbers. Where will you be with us at DuePoint? And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is DuePoint. Everything you need to know, we've just told you. We're in the business of wealth creation. It's going to cost you nothing. You're not going to have to sell anything. What we need you to do is pick up this tool and get out there tonight and start connecting South Africans to us. We do the rest. No paper application forms. What a wonderful freedom. People still say to me, no, I need the paper application form. What did we hear the other day? I've still got the pads in my car. Who on earth uses paper anymore? It's 2019. Paper application. You know it's come from some dodgy end of Africa if it's paper, okay? That's just a dipstick test for you. The next time someone says, no, here's the paper application, you go, no, I'm going to lose my money, okay? Folks, it's the 21st century. Everything is in your phone. You are free to build with everything that we do here. Yours is just that time and numbers. If you want to become a wealth engineer this evening, super simple. You go to our website. What's our website? Dewpoint.net. If you don't use the computer, you don't use computers and the internet, tonight is the first night of the rest of your life. Because tonight you're going to get on a computer, you're going to go to our website, read everything that's there, watch the videos that are on there. It's all available for you. You click apply or join, and in 3 minutes, you'll be a wealth engineer. Not a single cent having parted from your hands or your pockets this evening. And you are alive and ready to build wealth this evening with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we even teach you how to do this. We know that you might be afraid or don't know how to do this business. So we teach you. And we teach you through our XP Rewards training program. Our training program will take you from beginner to expert where you apply yourself to it. Many of our wealth engineers forget after this presentation that we have a training program. They just disappear out into the darkness and go, Brendan, I'm not learning anything. Well, get engaged with us. Plug into the XP Rewards program. Do the steps. And as you do it, you will mature, you will grow, you will understand. And as Dr. Benfield says, you will get better at connecting people successfully to us, and your wealth will grow. When you do it, we reward you with what's called XP points, experience points. And those experience points you can never lose. They accumulate, measuring your maturity with us here at DuePoint. And as they do, and they accumulate, and your channel grows, and you meet those 2 criteria, we rank you up in our training program. And when we rank you up, we reward you. It's the second way you earn at DuePoint. We start to reward you. In the beginning, it's a little bit of cash. As you get a little bit more serious, well, then the cash starts getting a whole lot more serious. I see lots of you guys videoing and taking pictures. Guys, I've got great news for you. It's on our website 24 hours a day. You do not need to take a picture. It's there for you. Everything's at your fingertips. When you get to rank 5, we start equipping you with tools. Tools that are going to help you grow your business faster. At rank 5, it's an imported lightning memory stick from the US, plugs into every single electronic device in South Africa, and has got everything on it that you need to connect South Africans to us. At rank 7, we give you a 17,000 Rand set of imported gold gilded business cards. Now you'll see it says 12,500 Rand up there. Yes, that was at the beginning of the year. Thank you to our Rand dollar exchange rate. It's now 17,000 Rand for the same set of cards. These are gold gilded business cards, and they are custom made for you. These are not cheapy down William Nicol Witkoppen business. This is real deal stuff that we get for you. It takes us 6 to 8 weeks to have them made for you. I think there's one guy who does the gold gilding for us down at Cape Town. I think he chews it onto the end of the cards, and he's got to do 800 cards. No, I'm joking. Nonetheless, you can see it's real gold. Some of you thought I was being serious. Look at what they look like. They look like gold ingots. Now, for those of you who continue to do the training and build your channels with us, you will ultimately get to rank 9. At rank 9, we take you and your family away every year for the rest of your life, as long as you maintain your channel size with us, on a 5-star business class, all expenses paid trip every year. We don't go in July when it's cold and cheap. We go in December when it's hot and expensive and your children are on holiday. And we go every year. I don't have to show you fake footage from the internet. I always love going to these new websites that pop up, and oh my word, they've got stock footage. I show you the real stuff. Real stuff. Our rank 9s are going away with us now, 8th of December. Already received your emails, handed in your passports, got all that. It's happening again, as it did last year, as it's going to next year. Every year we go away with all of our rank 9s. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we do not become wealth engineers for the rank 9 trip, which some people do. They get all excited. I'm going to Mauritius. No, you'll find it a disappointing process. We joined DuePoint to create lifetime freedom and wealth. That's what we do. For those who get to rank 9, and it's a long journey there, they'll already be earning around about 20 to 30,000 Rand a month. They can buy their own Mauritius trip. When you've got an extra 360,000 Rand a year, you can buy your own Mauritius trip. But what we do is we reward you for committing to the process of creating wealth and building freedom in your lives. And that reward looks a little bit like this. There we go. And we're leaving on the 8th of December. We're all going. Business class. We need the leg room. We need the champagne. Nobody wants to go economy class. 5-star business class. We're going to Heritage Latalfia this year. All oceanfront suites, each one with a butler. All right. Now, I need you to remember all of that, because when you speak to the first 20 people and they don't pay and they don't do anything and they laugh at you and all of that, are you going to go, you know, it's not worth it. I don't want a room on the beach with a butler. I don't. My ego is being too trampled on right now by these people that it's not worth it. I want you to ask yourself that question, because this is a 5+ year journey. This is not a 90-day get-rich-quick scheme. You're going to have to put the years in. How long does it take to go to rank 9? Well, if you're going to connect 2 people a month to us, it's going to take you 19 months. That's 2 years. Would you be willing to work for 2 years for your boss? If your boss said, put 2 years in, and I'll take you to Mauritius for the rest of your life every year. Would you do 2 years? Yep. Yeah, you'd be like, 2 years, I've already put 20 years in. 2 years is nothing. But here I go, look, you're going to have to put 19 months in, and your immediate response is, what? No, this WhatsApp says I'll be in the Mediterranean in 90 days. Folks, no. Here I'm real with you. If you're only going to connect 2 people a month to DuePoint, it's going to take you 2 years before you'll join us on this trip. But if you want to go faster, you can go faster. We got people in the audience tonight who got there way faster than 19 months. We mentioned Patrick Apumi, 11 months. Less than a year, rank 9. Record, this chap over here, 5 months. You can be there. Will you do the work? Will you ignore the no's? Will you ignore the people who don't pay and fall out and break their promises? Will you ignore them and just keep connecting? That's all we ask you to do. Those of you who push to get to rank 9 will push through beyond that. And we'll ultimately get to rank 11. At rank 11, you get your own car. It's not branded. It's not financed through us. You don't rent it from us. And we don't give it to you and then take it away when we don't like you anymore. It is part of the complete package of freedom that we create here at DuePoint. Not just financial, complete package of freedom that we create here at DuePoint. Will you get to rank 11? That is the question you will have to answer for yourselves. There are 28 ranks in our training program. This is the first third. What happens in the second 2/3 if this is in the first third? Well, you can find out if you do 5+ years with us. It can't be too bad if the worst trip in the program is to Mauritius 5-star business class every year for the rest of your life. It can't be too bad. It's going to be premised now on which South Africans are willing to work. And we're not really willing to work in South Africa, are we? We like to demand things for free. But as I've said to you before, there are no more free things left in South Africa. Right now, we can create a new life, but we're going to have to commit to the work. And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That is DuePoint this evening. I think you can see how serious we are. This hasn't come from some chop shop in Nigeria or from some boat in the Yangtze River in the south of China. This is a business we built in South Africa with South Africans who have decades of experience. We put tens of millions of rands worth of capital behind it, and we are committed to generational building of wealth amongst South Africans. And what do we ask you to do this evening? Pick up the tool and start building wealth. That's it. We don't ask for your money tonight. We don't ask for you to take stock, boxes of it. We don't ask you to go and sell to your friends. We just say, pick the tool up and get connecting South Africans to us. If you have questions and concerns, come and ask them. Ask the people who connected you or call our client service team. But let's get going in changing the economy of South Africa. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to see you all outside. Thanks for all of you who tuned in live tonight.